Before leading his family on a long journey to the Promised Land, the prophet Lehi found a round ball of curious workmanship outside of his tent. It was made of fine brass and had 2 spindles on it. You're probably familiar with this compass-like ball, but what you may not know is what the name Liahona actually means. The prophet Alma explained that Lehi and Nephi called the ball Liahona, which is being interpreted a compass. But does the name Liahona mean more than just compass? A linguistic study of the word reveals elements that point to the God of Israel, both Hebrew and Egyptian in origin. Most scholars agree that the Iya or Iaho in Liahona is a shortened form of the divine name Jehovah that commonly appears in Hebrew names, such as Jeremiah, Isaiah, and Elijah. They also think that the initial El in Liahona is either a Hebrew or Egyptian preposition meaning to or of. So the first part of the word might literally mean to or of Jehovah. That accounts for the first part of the word, but what about the ending? Jonathan Kirchie suggested that the final letters come from the Hebrew adverb ona, which means direction or motion to a certain place. It is often translated as whither in the sense of what direction to travel. So one of his proposals is that Liahona means either the direction or director of the Lord. Matthew Bowen supplemented Kirchie's proposal by suggesting that the final na in Liahona could also be an Egyptian expression meaning to see or to look. So the full name might mean look to the Lord. Both proposals are plausible since Book of Mormon authors were apparently bilingual in Hebrew and Egyptian. The fact that we find support for both options in the text strengthens this possibility. For instance, when describing the Liahona, Lehi said one of its spindles pointed the way whither we should go into the wilderness. After Nephi's bow of fine steel broke and he fashioned a new one, he asked Lehi, "Whither shall I go to obtain food?" Lehi prayed about it, and in response, the Lord said, "Look upon the ball." When the compass stopped working on the family's sea voyage, Nephi's brothers knew not whither they should steer the ship, but Nephi did look unto his God. Once Nephi was set free, he took the compass and it did work whether he desired it. Lawrence Spendlove has added that the Hebrew particle na is often used like an exclamation point, giving emphasis to an expression. So Liahona could simply mean to Jehovah or toward Jehovah. When entrusting the Liahona to the care of his son Helaman, Alma explicitly tied it to looking to Christ. He counseled, "And now I say, is there not a type in this thing? For just as surely as this director did bring our fathers, by following its course to the Promised Land, shall the words of Christ, if we follow their course, carry us beyond this vale of sorrow into a far better land of promise. For so was it with our fathers, that if they would look, they might live. Even so, it is with us. The way is prepared, and if we will look, we may live forever. See that ye look to God and live." In the Liahona's name, we find a persuasive reminder to focus on Christ. As Matthew Bowen explained, it was to Jehovah the Lehites were to look. It is to Jehovah that we are still to look today. If you'd like to read the full Know Why article, click on the link in the description below.